Good morning, everybody. This is Giuseppe Marzelli at Boomtown, and thank you for joining our Poynt sales webinar. Really excited to have some guests from the Poynt team. Today, we're going to go over a lot of Poynt's native features, and then in the beginning, I'm going to go over some of the third-party apps and some of the third-party services that should help you sell Poynt to other verticals. Here's a quick agenda, and during the webinar, if you have questions, just go to the questions panel or the chat panel, and you can ask questions, and we'll be answering those throughout the webinar. Especially when we get to the section with our guest speakers, we'll make sure to, be answering that, and I'll be reading them out to the guest speakers as we move along. And for you who are just joining us or have just joined our program, again, my name is Giuseppe Marzelli. I'm a co-founder of Boomtown. Boomtown is a customer experience platform for all different types of fintech companies, ISOs, banks, payment organizations. We work with a lot of payment organizations directly, and we help service their merchants, or they use our software to service their own merchants. And then we do have activation training and field services across the nation as well. So we started in 2013. We have about 2,000 technicians in the field. Most of our employers are in Tempe, Arizona, and then also here in San Francisco, California. If you missed the last webinar, we had James Shepard who talked about the statement analyzer that he's built for a lot of ISOs, and it does really well with cash discount and surcharging, as well as interchange. So if you missed that, feel free to go to our sales hub and you can find that webinar. This was a really good one. A lot of the resellers of Poynt have been utilizing this tool to compete with Square and a lot of other Clover resellers, and making sure that they can actually have a really good let's just say really good pricing for their payments when they go to market. And it helps them understand the payment structure a little bit better if maybe they're an agent and they don't have a lot of education. So this was a great webinar, and if you missed it, again, definitely take a peek in, and again, that's available in our sales hub. I'll make sure that all of that information is sent out to you after the webinar. So today I'm going to talk about the third-party applications and some of the third-party services that should help you sell Poynt, and of course help the merchants have a better experience with Poynt. Of course, the native software on Poynt does a lot for a merchant, especially for like a QSR or small retail. But when you get into FSR and you get into doctor's offices and you get into contractors, salons, spas, health, beauty shops, you might need a few more adverse features to really sell them, upsell them, versus the competition out there in the world today. The first feature that we've built actually at Boomtown is our help button. So the ability to have instant support over chat and video. Definitely differentiates the experience in today's world, versus other terminals. So the idea that, hey, I have a 24/7 help button, and we can white label that button as well. We can have that say GoDaddy, we can have it say Poynt, we can have it say your payment group. The fact that it goes right to one of our representatives, and they'll be brand neutral, so we can keep everything white labeled. That's a huge value add in selling the Poynt terminal and the smart terminal today. The second service I want to talk about is Copper. So Copper helps make the Poynt terminal EMV compliant with Aloha or Micros, right? Any kind of legacy solution or POS in general. This was really helpful during COVID because it also could produce QR payments for contactless payments. But one of the things that's really tough about owning Aloha or Micros is that the upgrade to EMV is extremely expensive. I'm talking like $10,000 to $15,000 of new hardware. And merchants who have invested in legacy hardware don't want to make that investment. So now we can give them a $10 cord in a Poynt terminal. The Poynt terminal may, let's say, $400 to $500, $10 cord, and now they're actually EMV compliant. We can do pay at the table. We can produce a QR code, and so there's a lot of great, there's a lot of great value in utilizing the Copper program. So definitely reach out to me. I can help you learn more about that. I just helped a group here in San Francisco. They basically just converted about 15 locations of just using Aloha to now using Aloha, Copper, and Poynt. And that was a huge success for that brand because they didn't, again, have the funds to go and replace hardware all their locations, especially after COVID, where a lot of businesses got hit pretty hard. So this was like, we made one of our resellers, seem and feel like a hero to this brand. So again, all they had to do was get a 0.5 and a Copper cord, go in there and do a quick demo. Homebase is one of the I'd say most popular free tools on Poynt. It's basically an HR tool that helps you with clock in, clock out, employee scheduling, team communication. So in the case that I needed to change my shift, I can go onto the platform and quickly advertise that, hey, Saturdays morning breakfast shift, I'm not available. I can advertise that to the team so people can easily communicate and take each other's shifts, but also for check-in, check-out. So if I get to the, I used to work at a restaurant in a bar in Colorado when I was going to school. And so basically when I get there, there's no more of the, hey, can you check in for me? I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. It's like you can actually only check in at the time you go there by clocking into the terminal and actually take a picture of you for the manager. So this is a great tool for merchants. The base package is free. There are some ad hoc features that you can add if you're more like an enterprise brand and have multi-location. But again, the general, I'd say that the general software that comes out of the package is free. So I add it as part of my sale when I go and sell Poynt, right? I just say, hey, we have HR tools available on the Poynt terminal. Manglement is a health and beauty software on Poynt, and so it's a great competitor to MindBody and Booker, which are very expensive health and beauty softwares. It helps with online scheduling, so you can go in there and basically, sell that salon the ability to, build a website where they can, schedule, their appointments, and then when they go into the actual location, the consumer can check out on the Poynt terminal and everything integrates with each other. It's a really elegant experience. You can choose your specialist, you can choose your product or service, and we're starting to see gyms use this now because it has a memberships program. So there's a lot of different ways to use the Manglement software. I'm definitely happy to set up a demonstration for your team. It does have multi-mid function, which is obviously very helpful for anybody in the salon and health beauty industry. So definitely reach out if you want to learn more about that. And then our top cash discount application, I know it's a huge subject for everyone. Everyone loves their cash discount. I can get you in front of this team if you need to. It's a really easy experience. The reason I like it is it's affordable. It's like $6 a month for the application. And then all you need to do is apply whatever fee you choose between 0 and 4%. And then what happens is it's built into the native software of Poynt. You just use a terminal app. You're not using a third-party application once it's up and running for checkout. And you can use the register application as well, and it's really, really straightforward. And then another service that's really helpful is the EConnectivity. I can get you in touch with Stefan, and basically they help you resell SIM cards and cellular plans for smart terminals. So if you have any questions on smart terminals like Poynt and their 4G, 3G capability or 5G capabilities, don't come to me. You can come to me and I can help get you in front of this team. But what I'm saying is definitely go to this team because they're really educated, a lot more than I am on basically cellular services and what's available from a SIM card perspective for your merchants. And then another one that's coming soon is Quantic POS, which is a little bit more suited for like full service restaurant. It has like online ordering integrated. It has the ability to do table seating and maybe having a patio, a bar. Some really incredible features that can help you sell up market from just what the Poynt native software has. So I'm really excited about these guys. They're going to get involved. I've been working with their CEO pretty hand in hand in making sure that they have the resources they need at Poynt to get up and running. But that'll be a great channel for a lot of you guys to again sell to different verticals or larger merchants who are processing more, which obviously gives you a lot of which will give you a lot of value. And then we'll be talking more about Poynt PayFac, which will be available to you guys, and it's definitely more structured program than it has been. So we're really excited about that. Better payouts, better features, and everything that can help you get involved with Poynt. So before I go and introduce the Poynt team, I just want to say I will go over the third-party apps again at the end of this real briefly, and then I'll send the recording and the deck out to everybody. But really excited to have Lanu and Angie from Poynt. Since the acquisition by GoDaddy, it's been incredible working with their team and learning about some of the individuals on their team. I think there's a lot of great things to come. They have incredible resources, and overall, we're just excited to see this partnership grow. So thanks guys for coming, and Lanu, I'd love to hear, Angie, I'd love to hear more about the hardware and where we are today. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi everyone, my name's Angie Costellas. I work in biz dev and sales within the commerce division of GoDaddy. I definitely want to talk all about hardware, just really, and I can actually just answer that directly here. So we did have a shortage of devices there for a short time, but we're super excited that as of April, really the end of April, we're going to have all the P61B Wi-Fis that you guys could want. It's our tabletop device, and we also have still the Poynt 5 is still in inventory for us. We recommend that you order that with the power sleeve if that's something that you are looking to do. We do replace the coin cell battery before we send it out to our partners. And the other really great thing is we're definitely still in the hardware game. We're releasing the Poynt C later this year. We're hoping for Q4 as a timeline for that. And that's going to have a standardized paper roll, larger screens, the dual screen, really everything that you've come to know and love about our tabletop device is going to be even better within that device. We're also in partnership with some third-party hardware companies like Newland, where some of those devices will be available to you hopefully later this year on multiple processors. So that's something that we're excited to be able to offer later as well. And more details about this certainly will come in time. We're just, as you guys can imagine, we were officially acquired on February the 9th of this year by GoDaddy. And also there have been a lot of questions about, what bundles are available? How can you guys capitalize on all of the great products and services that GoDaddy offers? And all of that is being worked out now. There's lots of integrations and meetings in the process of that to make sure that we're really offering our partners, really great tools and services that help you all grow your businesses and have really just the best tools on the market. So no detail around those bundles and services at this webinar today, but we really look forward to in the near future being able to express a little bit about that. So that's hardware. That's a little bit about our acquisition. As Joey mentioned, we've had a previous webinar. I've been lucky enough, this is our second one. We always appreciate Joey allowing us to come in here. Joey, just for you, we can see your screen if that helps you. So that's that. And then I also wanted to just emphasize that today, before I turn it over to Linu or we kind of field any questions here, that we've really released some fabulous features in the last year to 18 months. And we are hoping today that we're just drawing some attention to some of those, as Joey was mentioning. I know that we haven't in the past done this type of consistent communication. And so we're really looking forward to hopefully on a quarterly basis communicating with you in that way. And then the last thing that I'll say is that now that we are GoDaddy, certainly there will be some just integration changes that are coming up in Q2. We have some really robust communication plans that we're looking forward to sharing with you all with notice in advance of the things that are changing. But I use that word loosely because it really is for us just to become GoDaddy formally. There's some of the back end items that we just need to update, but it does not change the products and services and the availability of our software and tools to you at all. It is simply some of the formalities that one would imagine need to take place in order for us to be fully acquired by GoDaddy. So excited, looking forward to communicating with you all on a regular basis. And Joey, unless there's anything else, I would turn it over to Linu now.
Yeah, I think the last piece is just, overall support. I think that we're getting more resources from Poynt, which has been really great to see. I know that, in the past, people have complained about, our partner support in escalation, and mostly in the escalation piece, right, on resolution times. So, like any new company, I think, we've gone through a few bumps. We've gone through some issues, trying to build out, a great, let's say, support structure for Poynt. I think now that, again, we have those resources, our teams are becoming more aligned, our communication is getting better. And I think that overall we have a really exciting, kind of a new approach to how we're going to be supporting Poynt and how we're going to be making sure that, again, when issues come in, those resolution times will get cleaned up pretty fast.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited about continued support, and certainly being a part of GoDaddy and their customer care as well is something that we're very jazzed about. So thanks for saying that, Joey. Okay, I think with that, we can turn it over to Linu, guys, because Linu would never say this about himself. He is an extremely talented solutions engineer at Poynt. He knows a lot of stuff, and he's going to now walk us through some of the great features that we've released in the last year and that we confirmed with Joey would be hopefully exciting for this group to look at. So, Linu.
Awesome.
And we can see your screen, Linu, when you're ready. Yep, perfect.
Okay, you guys can see this. Okay, perfect. So what you guys seeing right now is the Poynt Merchant HQ dashboard. So when a merchant logs in, this is what they are seeing initially. So I'm not going to run through all the features here. As you can see, most of its features are self-explanatory, but I'm going to run through the key features, mainly through virtual terminal, and then we're going to jump into invoices, from there into online pay links, and then last but not least, we'll jump into customer feedback messaging center. All right. So the virtual terminal can be accessed obviously on the device as well, and either through the manual entry app, but once on the HQ, it can also be accessed using the virtual terminal button. We click it, it immediately pops up a new window saying, hey, do you want to do this a card present or a card not present? So let's take a card not present. We can choose the type of transaction. In this case, I'm going to do a demo of a sale transaction. It's going to be an amount for $40. Could give a $12 tip. And let's put in some test card numbers. Enter the expiry date, CVV, billing zip code, and some street number, right? And I press charge. So as you can see, this interface is very similar to what we have in the device. And just to show you what is on the device as well is, screen here, if I minimize this and bring my screen here, you can see that the device has a very similar interface. So if I open the manual entry app on my device, it brings up the same option, the same look and feel. I present card present. In this transaction, I get the same web view of the device. The manual entry app can also be accessed through the HQ app, which is located on the device, or which can be located on your phone. And I'm going to mirror my phone quickly. Give me 1 second. Okay.
I knew, is this a terminal you're using that you're reflecting on the screen, or is that a phone you're saying?
Yeah, so this is a terminal that I'm mirroring on my screen. Yeah, just to show you the same experience that we have maintained throughout the different platforms. So this is the Poynt HQ that you're seeing on the left side of the screen.
Okay, great. Just want to be clear on that for the group.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. And I'm trying to just quickly mirror my phone, which happened to freeze at the perfect timing. There we go. So this is a mirroring of my phone. This is the Poynt HQ app on the phone. The virtual terminal can also be accessed through this app. So if I go, as you can see, the app has a lot of functionalities. Can look at transactions, can see a list of all your customers, settlement, what's the status of settlement. But it also has options of, if you go into the more option and you select terminal, for this specific terminal that you're seeing on the right-hand side as well, I can choose into card entry mode, and I would get a manual entry option here. As you can see, very similar to what you've seen before. I'm going to choose card not present here, and here as well, I'm going to enter an amount. Let's do for $41, no tip, and enter a test card details. Enter an expiry date and some CVV, billing zip code, and I'm going to press charge. Obviously, the test system is a bit slower than the production one, but you get the idea of it. All right, so back to the HQ here, I can choose to email the receipt. So in this case, I'm going to email the receipt to, say, for example, this test email that I created. Right, and I press send. Right, and done, and then we back into this. The use case of this, if the merchant wants to take phone orders, they can easily access it rather than doing it through the device. They can do it through their Poynt HQ. All right, just going to give it a few seconds for this transaction to be done. Same option here, email and choose. I'm going to choose here in the case of done.
And I knew with virtual terminal, are they, so they're able to have, if they have a location with multiple terminals, how do you set that up, right? So if I have a location and I have like two different terminals, am I doing off one terminal? Am I just doing off obviously my virtual terminal, which is tied to my mid? Is that its own terminal ID? I know the answer to this. I'm just kind of clarifying for the group.
Yeah, so as you see here, that's a very good question, actually, Joey. So as you see here, this virtual terminal is linked to this device. So if this mid had multiple devices, you would have multiple icons of this, and you can choose, hey, the virtual terminal transaction you want to be associated with this device or the next device or the third device that you have on this account.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so that is the virtual terminal that we have done. As you can see, the receipt has been populated here. We got a receipt from here, and we have the details of the transaction. Our $40 plus our $12 tip. All right, so the next one that I wanted to touch about is a new feature that we recently released. It's called the invoicing feature. The invoicing feature has two types of invoices that you can create. You can create a one-time invoice, or you can create a recurring invoice. I'll walk you through the process of how simple and seamless we made this process. We made this feature. So as you can see here, we have a couple of items to be filled, the customer name and the item name. The customer name it'll pick up from what you have created here, or you could create a new customer. The items names are picked up from your catalog. So if in this case, if you have a catalog here, the items would be picked up from the products that are configured in your catalog. So going back to invoices, let's walk through the steps of creating a new invoice. So I'm going to use my name itself. I created this profile previously. I can edit the profile. I can update the card number associated. This is card on file. I can store the card number. The minute I add a card number or update the card number, a notification is sent to the customer saying, hey, this merchant has added your card on the file. Did you authorize this? The customer would have the capability of removing the card, saying, hey, please remove my card from file. All right, here we enter an item. So for example, I'm going to take, let's take the cheese sticks. Quantity 1 or 2, this is the price. You can add a discount or add fees. All these items are also can be added custom or will pick up from your catalog that you have previously configured. You can choose the frequency of this type of this invoice. You can say, in this case, I'm going to do a one-time invoice. You can send, hey, when do you want to send it? And you can send immediately in 7 days, 14 days, or end of the month, or you can choose a custom date. In this case, I'm going to send immediately. And when this invoice is due. In this case, I'm going to take upon receipt. You can choose to pay, hey, I want to choose if there's a card stored on file, you can choose charge the Visa card on file, or you can say, hey, customer pays invoice after the invoice is emailed. You can give the option to enable tip or disable tip. In this option, I'm going to say enable tip. Here you enter some invoice number. I'm just going to say call it 4. Call it cheese sticks, and say thank you for your invoice, thank you for your business, and we send the invoice. All right, so the invoice sent, as you can see, it is not paid here. It is still shown as $6, not paid, due in 1 day. You have a couple of action items. You can obviously cancel. You can send a reminder. You can share this invoice via link, or you can add a payment and say, hey, the customer is calling in, I'm going to do a payment. Let's take the case of example where the customer wants to pay it when he gets the email. So hopefully I got an email here. Here's your invoice. This is the customer gets this. Say, hey, you have a $6 cheese sticks, due on April 7th. Here's your invoice. I'm going to choose pay now right now. And here, as you can see, I'm going to add a $2 tip for this invoice. I'm going to enter some custom card numbers, test card numbers, enter an expiry date. 12339, and I'm going to say pay $8. Details of the item chosen is given here.
And Manu, I'm just going to answer a few different questions that people are kind of writing in. So guys, there's no limit. So there's a limit of users on that can log into Poynt. I don't think there's a limit of how many people can be on the phone HQ app at once. But someone asked, does the mobile have an EMV swipe capability? There's no dongle available for Poynt today. So you do the key in transaction on the mobile device. If you want to do an in-person transaction, you need to do it on the Poynt 5 or the dual screen Poynt terminal, the P16. And then are there fees on the back end for using manual entry in the Poynt HQ app? There's no additional fees for that, but the virtual terminal is part of an advanced package, which you basically, and invoicing as well. And you can go and you can obviously discover those packages. I can help you learn that. And then another question, does cash discount and surcharge work on the gateway of the invoicing feature? Not today. There's no native software for cash discount from Poynt today. I know that they're starting to explore that and starting to explore that opportunity of building that into their own native platform. Can invoices be sent through the mobile number rather than an email, like a text to pay? Lanu, do you know that? Can you send an invoice via phone, or is it all via email right now?
It is via email right now. You can share the link.
Okay, great.
So for example, in this case, there's an invoice here. I can share the link via WhatsApp or email or text phone, and they can access this link wherever they want. So if I, like right now, I've copied the clipboard onto my, copy that link onto my clipboard, I paste it, and this is accessible through any means that they want.
Okay, got it. So that's the link to pay, which basically you can obviously, guys, you can open that on the website, or if you're on your mobile device, it'll be mobile optimized. Open it up on your phone, and then you can obviously check out on the invoice with your mobile device.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to create a sample recurring invoice. It's pretty much the same steps. I'm going to choose the same reseller. I'm going to choose, I'm going to put a VIP membership here, membership quantity 1, $10 a month, for example. Say recurring, starts immediately, or you can choose a custom date. Says repeats every month. And when does this end? I'm going to say after 10 invoices. Okay, I can again have the option of choosing the card or asking the customer to pay. Enter an invoice ID, price, VIP membership, and say thank you and send the invoice. So as you can see on your dashboard, you can see, hey, there is one active series, a couple of action items that you can have. You can view the invoice, you can cancel it. You can see if the member has paid it or not. All that can be seen from the dashboard of the invoicing feature. All right, moving on to online pay links. This is one of my favorite features that we recently launched as well. Also in the e-commerce aspect, you can see the whole omni-channel experience here that we've done, very similar to invoicing. Here, the idea is so that we can share links, and just to walk you through, there are 3 types of templates that you can choose for. So you can have a fixed amount. You say, hey, when the customer logs in, this one amount that they want to pay. You can choose that. You can choose from a single select list or an item list. So let's take, for example, an item list, and we'll say, hey, I'm gonna let's do an item from there. From our catalog, let's do Meat Monster. As you can see, the Meat Monster has a lot of modifiers. That's why you see the price range. I'm going to upload an image of, let's do a pizza somewhere here. Yeah, let's take this as an example. Platters. Right, and I'm going to create a custom link. Let's call it Meat Monster Platter, right, for game night, right, something we can call that. And we create a custom link. As you can see, you can either copy this link, you can download it as a QR code, you can share it with Twitter, Facebook, or WhatsApp. If I share it, it will be directly integrated there. Going back into same thing with Facebook and WhatsApp, you can copy the link or share it through your online WhatsApp page. So if I copy the link, make sure I copy it, and I'll go into a new tab and I'll paste that link. This is what it's going to look like. So as a customer, I can choose, hey, I want a cheese, I want tomatoes, I want avocado, fries, veggies. Hopefully the image was a better image next time. And I say checkout. And as you can see, the customer now can immediately choose, enter a card number, and fill in all the details.
Hey, Lanu, when any of these transactions happen, like when an invoice is complete, a payment link is complete, does the merchant get a notification that it's been complete, like an email notification, or do they just have to monitor that from the HQ?
They do get an email receipt saying that, hey, your invoice has been paid. This is another email. This is actually a merchant's email. But in my emails, I am getting a notification saying, hey, the merchant has paid, or the customer has paid your invoice. Notifications are being sent.
Got it. Okay, right. That's great.
All right, so let's take, so these are the invoices. Another custom one like here, I'm going to click copy link. This is another template of a single item. As you can see, you can choose one item, you can enter an amount, you can enter your customer paying details, and the transaction is processed. Some other use cases are like, you can always, I forgot to mention that you can always customize this. You can add your own logo, you can customize the pay button to whichever color you want. A couple of small settings there we've done, making the UI much more integrated for the merchant. So in this case, I'm going to take, let's take a custom amount. You fix, like, let's say for some donation, and I'm going to say, hey, $45, or there's a $50 package, $50, and I'm going to allow customers to add their own amount. GoFundMe, for example, upload a weird image of, so let's do a speaker, help me buy a speaker for this bar. Hit fund me, and you can create a link. So again, that link name already exists. Sorry, fund speaker. Okay. Creates the link, copy it. Again, you have multiple options, and this is how it would look like. So customer can choose either $45, $50, or they can enter the custom amount and process your donations. $60, $60. 3, 2, 9. First name, good. Thank you. And say Quantic.
I'm answering some questions right now about why Poynt hasn't done cash discounting to date. So guys, obviously there's a lot of reasons that some ISVs haven't done cash discount. Visa, MasterCard have kind of been flagging because a lot of, unfortunately, payment groups are not educated enough to know how to do an actual pure cash discount. They still do surcharging and call it cash discount. So we can fight back and forth on why groups aren't motivated by what, or if surcharge is allowed in certain states and why cash discount is allowed everywhere. Even if that's the actual, if that's the law. Again, a lot of groups have to be very careful in how they go about cash discount because a lot of groups still use it as a surcharge. They don't actually educate the merchant correctly on how to do a cash discount because there are rules and regulations around that on how you actually present the cash discount. So again, going back and forth with some questions, that's truly a reason why groups like Poynt are looking at it, focusing on it, but they're not just jumping in head first. They're going to do it, thoughtfully, and it's going to take some time. Few other questions. Are these features available today, Lanu? I know that I've seen some of them. If I view as merchant, I've seen some of these features pop up. Especially, I know the invoicing virtual terminal, but is payment links available today?
It is being released. It should be available pretty soon. It's actually in the premium bundle as well. But the official launch date hasn't been announced yet.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Awesome. All these transactions that you're seeing here being processed can also be viewed here under where your card present transactions done at the store can also be viewed here. Right, awesome. The last thing that I wanted to show you was the messaging feature. So as you know, as the customer gets their receipt saying that they have paid, they have an option to directly respond to this receipt, either by clicking the smiley face or the frowny face. or by replying directly to this email. So for example, if they had a good experience, they would respond saying, hey, I had a great experience at Joe Barbecue. You guys rock, right? And he can send the submit here. So obviously this is, you can either respond directly to that email, or you can use this. As soon as that happens, if they go back into the messaging center, I'm just gonna open the messaging center, you get your messages pop up here. So all of this, you can respond immediately back to the customer within a few seconds. I'm just going to refresh my page, looking for the other customer. Okay, so as you can see, our message comes back here, and we can respond back to the customer saying, thank you. You left your wallet here, for example. Right. So all this can be done from the messaging center. This is basically so that customers can provide feedback to the merchants on, on their experience at the store. So obviously,
Manu, I'm getting a question. If like once like an invoice is paid or like a payment link is paid, basically, you get the email, but you can't print a receipt to the terminal for that transaction. So I imagine what you have to do is you have to go and print it on a computer if you want to staple your receipt to an invoice. Some people like to have their receipt. So from what I understand is you'd have to print that receipt. You wouldn't be able to send that receipt to a terminal.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And so this is the messaging feature. As you can see, you can interact with your customers. That's all that I had for today. Joey, any more questions that you would like to answer on this?
A few more questions, basically. Yep. So basically, one question about the zero pay. So guys, I'll go through what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the applications and third parties again. I apologize for earlier. My screen froze. I couldn't even see your questions. So with that, I'll go through all of those again, and then I'll copy and paste and basically edit the video so it's not as it's not me talking over James' face for 5 minutes. But I'll make sure to go through that after this. I want to talk a little bit more about Poynt native right now, and a little bit more about some of these features. So if you want to actually see what packages are available, can you go to the App Center? If you click on the App Center on the left, this is where you can actually see the software packages, and you can see the different third-party apps. But if you go to my subscription or your subscriptions, you'll actually see what's available on the like the Poynt native, like what you get out of the box versus the actual subscription, additional subscription. So give me 1 second. Maybe go to, is it showing up there? I thought it was in your subscription. No, it's on your subscriptions. It's basically
yeah, I removed it from my
where it showed
for now. But I can definitely.
Okay, I remember that's in here. You can see the different software packages, correct? Isn't it in the App Center?
That is correct.
Or if I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, so you should be able to see the different software packages here, guys, and that will be easier for you to visualize. If you go to the top right, if you go into your Poynt Merchant HQ and you go to the, not top right, sorry, if you go to your merchants and you click on your merchant, view as merchant, you'll see as they see it, and that's a really good way for you to kind of discover and go look at what they're seeing on the front end and what information or features are available. And then you can also kind of search for the third-party apps there as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull up an example so that I can show you guys how it looks like. And define the test merchant quickly.
And getting more questions about the receipts, guys. So yeah, paper receipts in person, and then you can always go back to your HQ and resend a receipt to someone's email, or share a receipt if you need to. That's just go to the transactions tab, and that's an easy way to share the receipt. If you complete an invoice, if the customer completes an invoice or a payment link, that's where basically you probably have to print out that receipt. In the case that you were utilizing obviously paper receipts for your own accounting purposes or own records. But everything is captured here in the Poynt HQ, so you shouldn't have to do too much beyond there. Is there a demo of HQ? There actually is a video. I can give you a great video of HQ, how to navigate through HQ. That's actually customer facing, so we can show it to you guys. I'll make sure to put that in the follow-up. It's in our Sales Hub. It has all the basically marketing features as well. And then marketing materials, that's a good question as well. So I think I have the screen now. So give me 1 second. I can actually pull a lot of that up for you guys. Poynt.com/sales. Let me go sharing. And you should see my screen in about a moment here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share my my Chrome. Okay, so if you go to, I'm going to basically chat it to you all right now for this page. Give me 1 second. I'm going to say to all entire audience, if you go to the chat panel, I'll put that in there. This is the resource center. This is where there's really good one-pagers, marketing materials for you guys to sell Poynt. So basically, pre-made marketing materials, some kind of hardware that's to come, future hardware. And someone actually asked about that today. And so actually, here's what it looks like for that future hardware, which is going to be pretty incredible for more POS-like merchants. So this is something that we'll be talking about in the future here. But if you also go to the top of this, you can basically see a marketing kit. The marketing kit has a lot of PNG images, a lot of images that you can use for your own website. You know, images of the Poynt terminal, really straightforward. There's some webinars here, case studies, data sheets. So this is all available to you. And then we also have, give me one moment, you know, for a lot of our new partners, I have the knowledge base that we basically build for all of our resellers. So this is a really easy way to go in there and just search for, you know, even cash discount, right? If you guys are really focused around that, you can learn about the different cash discount the different cash discount applications. You can do like the overview, and it just takes you to some contact information, who you should be reaching out to, and that's all in the Poynt knowledge base. And then the last piece, and I'm going to put this into the chat as well, so feel free to bookmark these. The last one is the Sales Hub. So the Sales Hub, I have a little bit more information on past webinars and third-party apps. So let me go there. And this is a great resource for past webinars where I've had a lot of guests, like those cash discount apps, like you know, Homebase, a lot of the great you know, applications that are available on Poynt that we're going to review. I have those all available in here and more information on them, one-pagers on them. Again, this is in the Poynt Sales Hub for Boomtown. So all of those are in your chat right now. You can go there and you can find those. I'm going to go back to the screen. I'm sorry, the presentation. Give me 1 second. And then, Manu, anything to add from you guys right now before I kind of go back into those third-party apps, because of course I wasn't able to show the screen as I was speaking about them.
No, I think there's nothing else from my side, Joey. Just that we are launching a lot of e-commerce features, especially with the integration with GoDaddy this year. So some pretty exciting times ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited. This is going to be a lot of fun, especially with GoDaddy involved now. There's a lot of great features we're working on. I know Angie and I have already kind of discussed, you know, the online, offline features, you know, how we're going to connect, you know, customers maybe using Poynt PayFac to the you know, website payments, things like that. We're getting a few more questions I just want to answer. Basically, you know, do we have demos? So guys, I'll give you all the features, excuse me, all the videos that are available for you to kind of show your merchants. We don't do customer demos today. There's a few different reasons why. I'll happy to speak with you about that, but it can be a little controversially because I don't want to be speaking about things that maybe you don't want me to be speaking about to your customers. And then you guys offer demo units. If you go to TPG, Phoenix Group, POS Portal, and buy a Poynt terminal, it's very easy to repurpose as a demo unit. Our team can help you with that and kind of handhold that. So not hard to do. You're just paying for the basic hardware. So again, let me go through a few more questions here. So Poynt PayFac, is it going to integrate with GoDaddy's websites? Yeah, so I imagine that's obviously on the roadmap. I know Andy can speak to this more, but there's the opportunity to obviously do you know, online and then actually you know, payments on the terminal with the same account. I think that's obvious. That's an obvious roadmap item for GoDaddy and the Poynt team. Angie, anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, in general, that's correct. Linu, I saw you came off mute. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, so for that, we've for customers who are already using WordPress, there's already a WooCommerce plugin that has been is being released, where they can easily integrate their store to the Poynt platform using the WooCommerce Poynt plugin. Very seamless integration. yeah, that has been released, which helps with that. Definitely, there is going to be more integration once later this year with GoDaddy platform.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, you're asking where do we go for a demo device? Again, TPG Phoenix Group POS Portal, our two preferred hardware vendors. And then I'm also getting questions about, does Poynt have the ability to do full service restaurant QSR for like table management features? Again, that's where I was talking about Quantic, a little bit more adverse features around the full service restaurant, like online ordering, integration with third-party delivery apps, Uber Eats, DoorDash. So feel free to reach out to me if you want to learn more about that. That will be a huge success again as you're utilizing the Poynt terminal to talk to more verticals and maybe more advanced merchants or larger merchants that are above that SMB tier. And let me see if there's any other questions here. I think I've gotten through most of them. I'm going to put my email here at the bottom, and that's my work cell phone. So feel free to reach out. Any more questions or anything that else we can go over? We're very happy to go through it with you. And reach out if you need help with the hardware, the demo terminals, or just in sales training in general. I can set up sales training for your team and your sales team. So we want to avoid kind of the one-off trainings. Let's do team trainings, so we can, ask more questions and go through a lot more on, again, how to sell two different verticals with the Poynt terminal, different verticals being like restaurants versus health and beauty versus doctor's offices, maybe versus contractors. I can walk you through all of that and make sure that you feel confident about your sale and how to move forward. And then pay at the table, order at the table. That's a good one for someone just asked. That's a good one for Copper. So Copper did a QR payment, and they're working on basically you can leave a QR code at the table, which the phone you can put up, and it integrates with the Poynt terminal. You can check out with the Poynt terminal, but it also you don't need necessarily the Poynt terminal. The transaction will read back to the Poynt terminal if you check out on your phone using that QR payment. So I think I've gotten through every question. They keep coming. But again, guys, reach out. My email is below. Angie Lanu, thank you so much for coming on today and chatting with us. Sorry for technical difficulties, but really excited to have you guys and helping us drive this channel and to be successful, and excited for what's to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joey. We really appreciate, as always, your partnership in this. And thank you, everyone on the line, for joining us today. And certainly thank you, Linu, for walking us through some of these steps. Until next time, we'll really look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you.
Awesome. Bye, everybody. Thanks a lot. We'll talk soon.
Bye.